This is great! I just knew Ponko must have seen something important! A murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes! It's inexcusable! Oh, the judge. How precious. The judge seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild. So, little Ponko, do you think you can give us your testimony today? Okay. I went to the robotics lab at 2 p.m. for the regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. Oh God. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room, and Mr. Simon came in. And then, error. There is no data after that point. Well, it sounds like the defendant was without question at the scene. Yeah, it sounds more than that. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder. I disagree. This testimony shows the defendant did indeed commit the crime. What? Don't say that! It freaking... I pointed it out in the middle of the testimony! At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that the witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited. So, what are you suggesting? The witness's statement need to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down. Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child. They don't. But yes, what this witness's statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon during this moment. What? No, don't say that. It's true. That sounds pretty much plausible for that fact. Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse? Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised. Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued. I see. Murder after a heated argument. And then the victim fell down. I agree that it does sound like a reasonable interpretation. However, Ponko doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that. When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory. You may as well admit defeat now, Wright. A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless. Until now. Think about it. Robots don't lie. Yeah. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time. It's an object. It's like a tape recorder. It's like a video camera. It doesn't lie at all. Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination. Thank you very much. Humph. I see you haven't changed one bit. You never were one to worry about wasting time. Very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright. Waste all of our times. I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be. So I don't think we can present any evidence because a robot can't lie. However, we can try to pull stuff out of him, I think. Out of Ponko still, so... I went to the robotics lab at 2 p.m. for my... Hold it! Your regular recharge? What is that exactly? That's a stupid question, Phoenix. I have to refill my battery's power, or else I stop working. I go to the lab to do that. So, that recharge occurred around 2 p.m., around the time of the murder? That's right. I go every day at 2 p.m. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. Hold it! Hold it. Hugged her, huh? Which Edgeworth took to mean stabbed her with a weapon. You said the two of them were talking before Miss Sykes hugged her mother. Is that right? Yes, they were talking very loudly, but I couldn't tell what they were saying. Couldn't tell? Even though they were speaking so loudly? I'm only allowed to listen to voices that are directed at me. Well, that's very unfortunate. If it listened to every voice, it would be a little better. It would be a little better than a mobile eavesdropper. That's funny. That's funny. Well, that explains why some of Ponko's testimony is so vague. It's a shame that our little friend wasn't listening in, however. We could have learned what they were talking about just before Dr. Sykes was killed. Now then, what happened after that? And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. Hold it! I don't want to delve too deeply here, but... could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment? Mommy Metis was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound. That's not good. Her heart? Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics labs? These robots have a heartbeat detection system. Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute. That means Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment. Was the patient still beating? That's the question. Because I just remembered the court record. Metis' autopsy report. The cause of death was a stab wound to the chest. The weapon pierced the heart, and so death was instantaneous. So that means was the victim's Dr. Sykes' heart still beating? That's the question. If the heart was still beating, she was still alive, and yeah. Ponko, how is Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat? Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. Ah, yes! After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then. Of all the unlucky timing, if you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder. I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry. The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing. Yeah, but I think we still got something there. After Mommy Menace's heart started pounding, in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room. The workbench, huh? Uncle must be talking about that table to the right where that giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Ponko's statement just now? There is something! There is something! Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like it added to the testimony. Very well. Ponko, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl. Mommy Menace fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room. Objection! Where's my objection? No, seriously. I said, objection! Objection! Jeez. Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough. I was helpful? Hooray! I'm so happy! Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table. But the operating table and the workbench are two different locations. Exactly, Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. Yeah, the defendant moved the body. The victim moved. Yeah. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult. So the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Ponko observed near the workbench couldn't have possibly been the moment of the murder. Phew. I am very relieved to hear that. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of little Ponko here. Yes, as we just heard in the testimony, Miss Sykes hugged her mother. Nothing more.
Objection!
Right. It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever. The hell's that supposed to mean? Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Wright in anything but a blue outfit. Yes, because the prosecution is red. The defense is supposed to be blue, like a defense. Well, no. No. Because the prosecution is red because they're the attacking authority. The defense is blue because they're defense, like a shield. And then Green is supposed to represent health points. It can represent the witness, I guess you could say. It could represent neutrality, etc., etc. Hey, blue's my favorite color. Ha! Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What can I say? Thank you. If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she could have had it moved for her. How? Moved for her? But Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there. I agree. Since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. Then who do you suggest move the body? Don't you know it's in the nature of a robot to help people do things? Miss Ponko, allow me to ask you a question. Edgeworth, I didn't see the very, very, very small A, like, crease there. So, Miss Panko, allow me to ask you a question. My name is Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko! I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table? Yes! Yes, I did. Athena asked me to. Why did I just, like, disconnect off? Like, I just disconnected offline. I just noticed everything went offline over here. Whatever. Yeah. Why didn't you tell us before? Because you didn't ask. Ha 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 ha. Athena asked you to... And what did you move, little Ponko? I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is. An ID tag, you say? Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scan them to tell us what a thing is. That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said. So, it would appear that Miss Ponko here can't identify what it moved. Miss Panko. My name is Ponko! But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? Still offline. We do? Humph. Well, I do, at the very least. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, move the body onto the operating table. Ponko, did you really move Miss Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Isn't there any way you could tell? I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell. Give it up, Wright. If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot's detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it, draped over a chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. There's something about that. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection!
Objection. But Ponko is equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means...
Objection!
A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell if it was Dr. Sykes. He's right. To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench. Then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table where she removed the sword and was stained in blood. Order. But if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? You want a reason? Very well. Oh no. No, don't say it, Edgeworth. Don't say it! Don't say it! I'm not even gonna read that. I'm just gonna say, don't say it, Edgeworth. Your emotions blind you to the truth. You could learn a lot from our robot friends. Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table's one special feature? Don't say it, Edgeworth. I believe I read that robots can be assembled and disassembled there. Isn't that right? That's right. And to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, don't say it. The table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds. Ah, jeez. But in the end, my mom just put her... my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It just looked like magic to me, what she could do. You can't possibly be suggesting... This young, sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild. No way. I refuse to believe it! Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanished without a trace... Prosecutor Edgeworth! If you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can! With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table...
Hold it!
Hold it! No! Don't say another word! Just stop! Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime. That can't be true!